Astonishing new benefit stem cell patches can avoid healthcare costs. Have a listen to Mr. David Snitz, our scientist and CEO of this amazing 20-year company. 20 years this company has been going with its own patent technology. This is what separates us from the healthcare industry as a whole, because there is no other product out there in the world doing what we are doing today. We are changing thousands, if not millions of people's lives all over the world and giving them their life back. You're going to see in this video of how people are keeping their visits down to the doctors and how people are keeping their visits down to the hospital, which in turn is putting more money and keeping more money in your pocket. Below the video in the description will be the link, so if you wish to purchase the product at a discount price, be sure to hit the link below. Let's roll the footage, enjoy, and be prepared to be blown away.
All right, so let's get into it then on the astonishing, finally here it is, the astonishing new benefit of X39. Let's do it. Now let's frame this in the proper way. We're going to do a very, very brief review on the known benefits of X39 so you can understand where we're coming from on this astonishing new benefit. Now, of course, you all know that the X39 patch is designed to activate stem cells. That's the big deal with this. And specifically, the X39 patch will elevate a peptide in the body that's known to activate stem cells. Now, we, of course, are going to be revealing this on January 19th. So when we do the event live from Austria, we are going to be revealing what peptide the X39 elevates, and this is a very, very important part of the X39 story. But activating stem cells is still the main key thing. Now, of course, with the X39, you get an immediate effect. And some of the things that you'll be learning about our product is how it elevates antioxidants and how it decreases inflammation. This works in a way that you're going to find quite surprising and very different from our other patches. That's why we refer to this as our third generation patch, because it does work considerably differently than our other patches. Also, the way X39 provides people with more energy, the way that it does that is different than our other patches. But what we've seen in our clinical studies is that people do, in fact, experience a boost in their energy. They feel less tired even within the first day of using this patch. Another thing that we've shown in our clinical studies is improved sleep. This is something else that happens within the first day of using the X39. We've done testing now, and we know exactly what the mechanisms are of improving the quality of sleep. So basically, people using X39 will sleep longer and sleep deeper. Of course, X39 is providing very, very dramatic pain relief. And it's really remarkable. Just one patch, either behind the neck or below the belly button, is going to reduce pain throughout the entire body. Now, if you want to, of course, apply the patch at a specific point where you have pain, you can also do that, but it's not always necessary. Now, another thing that we have seen, of course, we've gotten many testimonials about how the X39 patch reduces the appearance of lines and wrinkles. And this makes complete sense when you consider how stem cells work in the body. Basically, when you activate stem cells, they're going to be part of the wound healing process. And part of wound healing is increasing production of collagen. So not surprisingly, people that use X39 see firmer and tighter skin within the first few weeks of use. And then over about 4 to 12 weeks, it becomes very dramatic. Sports performance is another area where we have seen great testimonials and effects with X39. And this, of course, is because the product, in addition to improving energy, is going to help you to recover more quickly after exercise. Now, while we don't have a clinical study on this yet, and I know some people were saying, oh, the surprise benefit is going to be hair growth. No, we've already talked about this as early as our official announcement at the end of June, that growing hair could be an effect of X39. And certainly, this is something that we've seen anecdotally. People have reported, hey, I'm noticing hair growth with X39. Now, some of the most phenomenal testimonials we get on X39 are in the area of reducing the appearance of scars and wound healing. And when we activate the stem cells, we can create a phenomena called remodeling. It just simply means that this is going to improve the structure of the skin and reduce the appearance of scars. And great testimonials on that. Now, wound healing is perhaps where we see some of the most incredible and phenomenal results and testimonials. So we would say the X39 helps to support the natural wound healing process. Of course, what's going on is that when we activate the stem cells, they're going to do what they do best, which is improve the way that we heal. And of course, as we age, the ability to heal declines. So when we activate the stem cells, we're starting to be able to recapture the way we healed when we were younger. And in fact, some of the best testimonials we have are people over the age of 70. And you wouldn't expect to see wound healing in people over the age of 70, not to the degree that we do with using the X39. And of course, youth renewal. This, of course, has been a big one because when you use the X39, what's been shown in studies on the compound that the X39 increases is that it creates something we call youth renewal, resetting thousands of genes to a younger, healthier state. And of course, what this results in is better all over health and vitality. So this is a big one. I know some people also guessed, well, are you going to be talking about youth renewal? No, again, this is something that we have been talking about since the end of June. So it's not youth renewal. Okay, so this is the moment that you have been waiting for. And by the way, our lines are almost nearly full now with members. So I want to thank everyone for being here and being part of this historical moment for us as we unveil this astonishing new benefit of the X39. This is something that was uncovered at the completion of one of our clinical studies, and we're going to reveal this one benefit that we saw come out of the study. We didn't want to wait because it was too exciting, and here it is now. The X39 has been discovered to produce something that we are going to call youth mimetics, or the appearance of youth. And this is going to require some explanation so you can understand the impact of this, and the impact of it is absolutely massive. So let's get into it. In a clinical study that we just completed, which had 45 people, this was shown to statistical significance that in only 6 weeks of using the X39, the age of the vascular system gave the appearance of having been reversed by an astonishing 2 years. So, in other words, just short-term use of the X39, only a 6-week period of time, the age of the cardiovascular system was functioning as if the age of the cardiovascular system had been reversed by 2 years. And we're being very careful about the way that we're wording this. We're not making the claim that we reverse the age of the cardiovascular system, because that would be a medical claim. So what we're saying is that it gave the appearance of having been reversed 2 years. So in other words, the cardiovascular system performed as if it had become 2 years younger. And this is only after 6 weeks of using it. Now, how did we measure this? This study was performed by Dr. Thornton Streeter, and we're only going to cover some of the basics of this, but one of the pieces of equipment that we used was a Multiscan Pro. And this is a full body assessment where we collect all sorts of data about the heart, the pulse, the temperature, bioelectrical readings of all the organs in the body, obviously the cardiovascular systems. And what we did was look at baseline data. So we took measurements of people before applying the patch, and then we monitored people over a 6-week period of time to see how were they responding week to week with the use of the X39 product. Now, this is very, very thorough, multiple bioelectrical readings. And because we're taking in so much data, the system allows us to take a wellness score. In other words, after looking at the health of the heart, the kidneys, the brain, what's the overall wellness of the body? There's also going to be an assessment of the age of the cardiovascular system, because this is obviously important. One of the number one killers is heart disease, and we want to know how healthy is the heart. Now, this is actually from data that was gathered from the clinical study, and this is a chart that was generated as a result. And effectively, this is very interesting because what it showed is that after 3 weeks of using X39, there was a minor improvement. I don't think we would have hit statistical significance on this actually. But then through continued use of X39, you can see a tipping point is reached after 3 weeks where now the body improves significantly in health. And this is important to notice because what we've seen in our short-term studies is that the day you start wearing X39, changes start to occur. So energy improves, sleep improves. We know through practical experience within about the first 2 to 3 weeks, we see wound healing. But now this is going one level deeper. What happens after the first few weeks of using X39? We can see now through continued use, the effects are dramatic. So you'll get results absolutely from using X39 the first month, but continue using it because the results continue to get better. Now let's talk about this appearance of age reversal. What does this all mean? Well, the vascular age or the health of our arteries, it's the apparent age of the blood vessels. So you could be, let's say, 60 years old and be a young 60-year-old, or you could be an old 60-year-old. Okay, we're all going to age at different rates. So basically, the system is able to take a look at the heart rate and the heartbeat and how blood moves through the arteries. So essentially, by measuring this, it's known that the stiffer the arteries, the faster a wave will travel. So by taking data off of thousands of people, you can calculate a true biological age. So measuring the speed of how a wave of blood moves through the arteries is going to give us an idea of how stiff or how flexible the arteries are. And then that data is converted into vascular age. This is similar, by the way, to how telomere testing is done. You take a large group of people, thousands of people, and you look at the lengths of their telomeres, and then you can know biologically what's their real age. So we can do the same thing now with the arteries. Based on the speed at which blood moves through the arteries, we can calculate how old a person is. And this also, by the way, gives a pretty good idea if someone is at risk for cardiovascular disease. So in other words, if blood is moving through there more slowly, through the arteries, and the arteries are more flexible, it puts you at lower risk for cardiovascular disease. So for example, if your real biological age is 45, But yet when you test on this system, it shows that the arteries are 54 years old. This is telling you that you're older. Your heart and your arteries are older than your biological age. So this could make you more susceptible to cardiovascular disease. And of course, this data gives you an opportunity to look at what you're doing with your diet, with your exercise. And of course, now we're finding the patches will help. So if that was the case, again, you'd be at a higher risk for developing cardiovascular disease just based on that, as opposed to just looking at your true age instead. So the reduction in the vascular age by 2 years is an excellent indicator of how X39 potentially reduces cardiovascular risk factors. And again, this is only after 6 weeks, which is really remarkable. There's currently nothing available in medical science that will provide a result like this. So this is why we got so excited about it, because it's a indication of something that we've been talking about, youth renewal, and of course, our ultimate goal, which is age reversal. Okay, I've been